Welcome to Coin Explorer. Before you scroll away, pause for a moment and take a careful look at this small coin. It is a 1982 United States 1-cent coin, a piece of money that millions of people have used in everyday life. At first glance, it seems completely ordinary. The color looks familiar, the size feels standard, and the design is something most people have seen many times before. Coins like this have traveled through stores, banks, pockets, and jars in homes across the country. Because of that routine journey, people rarely stop to study them closely, yet collectors know that some coins hide remarkable stories. The year printed on this coin connects it to an important moment in American coin production. Something changed in 1982 that collectors still discuss today. That change created several varieties of the same penny. Some of those varieties became especially interesting to specialists who study coins carefully. Let us begin with the front of the coin, known as the obverse. The portrait you see is Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His image has appeared on the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in American coinage. Above Lincoln's head, the phrase "In God We Trust" curves along the top edge. To the left of his portrait, the word Liberty appears clearly engraved. On the right side, you can see the date 1982, which tells us when this coin was produced. The design may look simple, but each element carries historical meaning. Lincoln's portrait honors a leader remembered for preserving the Union. The inscriptions reflect values that have appeared on American coins for generations. When collectors study coins, they often examine how clearly these details were struck by the mint. Now turn the coin over to the reverse side. Here you will see the Lincoln Memorial, one of the most recognizable monuments in Washington, D.C. This design appeared on the penny from 1959 until 2008. At the top edge of the coin, you can read United States of America. Just below that sits the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. In the center stands the Lincoln Memorial Building with its long row of columns. If the coin is well preserved, you may even notice the tiny figure of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial. Along the bottom edge, the denomination 1 cent confirms the value of the coin. Even though the design is small, it carries strong symbolic meaning and connects the coin directly to American history. What makes the year 1982 especially interesting is a major change in the way the penny was produced. Before 1982, pennies were mostly made from copper. These coins weighed about 3.11 grams and had a heavier metallic feel. However, the price of copper began rising, making the coins expensive for the government to produce. To solve this problem, the United States Mint decided to change the composition of the penny. During 1982, the Mint introduced a new version made mostly of zinc with a thin copper layer on the outside. These new coins weighed about 2.5 grams, noticeably lighter than the earlier copper pieces. Because the change happened during the same year, both types of pennies were produced in 1982. Collectors who study 1982 pennies quickly discover that the story becomes even more detailed. In addition to the copper and zinc compositions, the Mint also produced coins with different date styles. Some coins display what collectors call a large date, while others show a smaller version of the numbers. The difference may appear subtle at first glance, but experienced collectors can recognize it easily. When you combine the metal composition with the two date styles and the different mint locations, several distinct varieties appear. Each variety has its own level of rarity and collector interest. This means that two pennies from the same year can actually be quite different. Another key factor collectors consider is condition. The condition of a coin describes how well it has been preserved since the moment it left the mint. Coins that circulated heavily often develop scratches, dull surfaces, and worn details. Coins that remain protected can retain their original shine and sharp design. To evaluate condition, numismatists use a grading scale that ranges from heavily worn coins to pristine mint-state examples. Professional grading services examine coins carefully under magnification and controlled lighting. They look for marks, luster, strike quality, and overall preservation. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition often work together. A coin may be common in general circulation, but extremely rare in top condition. Over time, many coins experience wear or damage, leaving only a small number of well-preserved examples. Those surviving pieces attract attention from collectors who want the best possible specimen for their collections. When one of these coins appears at a major auction, collectors sometimes compete strongly to acquire it. That competition can push the final price much higher than expected. One reported example connected with a 1982 1-cent coin reached an auction result of about $932,000. This figure reflects a very specific coin that was authenticated, graded, and offered through a professional auction environment. Such results usually involve coins that stand out because of condition, rarity, or a special combination of factors. It doesn't mean every 1982 penny carries that value. Most coins from this year remain common and continue to circulate normally. Stories like this often inspire people to look more closely at the coins they already have. A simple jar of change can suddenly feel more interesting when you realize that small details might matter. Collectors often begin by examining dates, mint marks, and overall condition. They compare coins side by side, searching for differences that may not be obvious at first glance. This process of discovery is one of the most enjoyable parts of coin collecting. Another reason the 1982 penny remains interesting is its connection to economic history. The decision to change the metal composition reflects the rising cost of raw materials during that period. Governments around the world often adjust coin designs or compositions when production costs increase. In the United States, the 1982 transition from copper to zinc marked a clear turning point. Coins produced before that change feel heavier and contain more copper. Collectors today continue studying these differences. Some focus on identifying every possible variety from the year 1982. Others search for coins with exceptional surfaces and minimal wear. Advanced collectors may send their best examples to professional grading services for evaluation. If a coin receives a high grade, it becomes easier to sell or auction because buyers trust the certification. Even people who aren't serious collectors can appreciate the story behind coins like this. A penny may seem small and insignificant, yet it represents decades of history. Every coin has traveled through many hands, places, and moments in time. Some paid for groceries, others rested quietly in drawers or jars. Each one carries a tiny fragment of everyday life. The Lincoln cent itself holds a special place in American culture. For more than a century, it has been one of the most recognizable coins in the country. Children often encounter their first coin collections through pennies. Because so many were produced, pennies became symbols of everyday transactions. Yet, within that enormous population of coins, a few examples quietly become extraordinary. That's the fascinating balance in coin collecting. Most coins remain ordinary, yet a small number stand out because of rarity or condition. When collectors discover those special pieces, the excitement spreads quickly through the numismatic community. Over time, those discoveries become part of the broader story of coin history. So, the next time you see a 1982 1-cent coin, take a closer look before passing it by. Notice the design, the date, and the details that connected to a major change in U.S. minting history. While only exceptional examples reach remarkable auction results, such as the reported $932,000, every coin still carries a story worth exploring. If you enjoy discovering the hidden history behind everyday coins, make sure to stay curious and keep observing the small details. Sometimes, the smallest coin can tell the most fascinating story.